What advice do you have to give others when your credibility is attacked, as yours has been? We are here with you. Keep up the fight.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Well, I will give an observation that we have made before, which is that this is very different when you have a reality check that you can rely on. And reality check doesn't mean somebody to tell you nice things. It means somebody to tell you what they see.
Yeah.
And so you and I have been very, very lucky that there's never been a moment in, the last 4 years for us where we had to take the world's input as to, what was happening to us. We were able to check it with somebody else who could see it too.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not that we haven't disagreed. Like, we have not always seen exactly the same thing. Starting, either when, Evergreen was happening or this. And it hasn't always been easy, but the disagreement between us about what is actually happening and what is true and what's not and what is wrong and what's right is incalculably valuable.
Yeah, it really is.
So that's the opposite of advice. Like, get yourself one of those. That's not operational at all. But if your credibility is attacked and you have been doing the best that you know to do and you're operating in good faith, then you continue to know that. And it doesn't make it easy, and you might end up capitulating. But it doesn't make you wrong. Like, if you 100% were doing the best that you could with the information that you had, and you were operating in good faith, and you're sure of that. And again, it helps if someone else is watching you and being like, that okay, wait, that was a little bit of misstep, whatever, right? Then no matter how many people show up, and of course, the fact that it's anonymous hordes on the internet, in some ways makes it harder, but in some ways makes it easier too, because it's a now multiply repeated observation that people are plenty happy to interact anonymously, or at least with that barrier online, in ways that they would never say most of those things to your face, right? But you should still be able to go to sleep at night going, I'm doing the best I know to do and trying to figure out what is true and best for people. And that just helps it. And frankly, trying to figure out what the motives of the other people are, and, is it bad faith? Are they just dumb? Like, what is going on? That doesn't help us much. And, it's necessary to the argument. Sometimes it's necessary to try to understand, like, how is it that such and such a person can be so savvy here and apparently not there? Is it a lack of savviness? Is it a lack of general savviness, or is it capture, or what is it? But how do you deal with it yourself? You be good. And then you can, as you're falling asleep at night, go like, okay, I'm still doing the best I can. The hater's going to hate.
All right. 2 more things on this topic. I think one is always caught. One has to be honest with themselves in order to navigate the following difficult puzzle. The puzzle is you take flack when you're wrong and when you're right.
Yeah.
And so there's this phrase, that's flack over the target, right? But if you become...
But it worries me.
Right. That's the problem, is that you can, if you take that as an excuse to not listen to critique, that's a problem. You will fool yourself. And so my point would be that the only route out of that pickle is to recognize, that flack over the target is one of a couple of explanations for flack.
Yeah.
And 2, not being socially persuaded is essential. The crazier a social environment, a political environment is, the degree to which you are not socially persuaded of something, you are analytically persuaded, dictates whether or not you can navigate those 2 different kinds of flack and not be pushed off of, truth, but be caused to alter your course when you've misunderstood something. And it is an essential scientific skill, and it is a very rare human skill, because humans are so social. So we take the flack as an indicator of danger, and that translates to people imagining that it must mean you're not right, when it sometimes does and often does not.